Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is your friend Dharam Singh, and today we have very beautiful, very smart lady, Maria, Dr. Maria Sette, and she's going to share a lot of knowledge around cybersecurity and other things. So today's topic is resilient leadership in cyber-driven programs. So she's going to help us strategies from a transformation expert. Welcome, Maria. How are you going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Fantastic. It is a beautiful morning here in Sydney. So I'm in Sydney at the moment, and normally I'm in Dallas. So tomorrow I'm flying back. But yeah, so it's 4:30 here in the morning, and yeah, lovely to have you here. All right. So thank you all joining today. It's great to have you. I can see some of the names coming again. Welcome back. So Maria is coming with lots of experience, and she has been working as a project program manager and transformation manager, specialized in cybersecurity. So, I mean, I cannot find anybody who is with so many expertise who can talk about cybersecurity. So, and she's based out of Atlanta, Georgia, United States, and she has recently moved to a new department. And I let Maria to talk about her background. Maria, you'd like to go ahead and talk about yourself?
Sure. So yeah. So most recently, I got hired to a police department. Working with them, I just started this week, and so just trying to get onboarded and just trying to figure out what the projects that are going to be needed for this department. Before that, I was with the CDC doing some program management and product management work for them, using like Jira and Confluence as a tool and putting the backlogs in there and doing all that good stuff that a program and project manager should do. Before that, so I was with them for 6 months. They had brought me on just to help them with executive level putting together some information. Before that, I was with MorganFranklin. The position there was as a director of cybersecurity and software engineering. And they had me working with Raytheon. And at Raytheon, they went through merger acquisition. And my job there was to help them put together GRC initiatives so that they could pass audit. And so just working with my team to put that information together there. And after that was completed and we helped them with their readiness, they had put me on other programs and projects to help them with their merger and acquisition. Before that, I was with Booz Allen. Booz Allen put me on assignment with the Veterans Affairs down in DC. Again, that initiative was a cybersecurity initiative. I had to prepare the work because it was going to be, the report was going to be presented in front of Congress because they needed money for their cybersecurity efforts. They don't have enough money to implement all the new technology that's out there to help them, you know, close those risks and gaps that they see in their structure. And so just helping them put that information again as well, using DevSecOps pipeline to put that information together. So it wasn't a traditional cybersecurity standard of tools that it was using. We put together a pipeline to gather that information and deliver the reports. And we used Power BI to do that for the front end for the user to get the visualization data and the metrics and KPIs that they needed to look at. Before that, I was with the City of New York for 20 plus years, working mostly with the NYPD for those years. And NYPD at the time didn't have a cybersecurity person. So I was the person that came in and had to help them with GRC work, had to help them with standard policy procedure, all the stuff that you would learn when you're doing project and program or portfolio management, right? So that would be the governance, the oversight of what I needed to do, putting together a lot of project programming information that's needed, working with the business case, all that good stuff that you're learning, you know, if you're taking any of the certifications, right? And so just helping NYPD with that, but worked with other city agencies such as MTA and the Department of Education. So that's my story there in a nutshell.
Great. It shows that you have a huge experience in cybersecurity, which is great, and that's where the topic all about today. So thank you. I'm excited, and so few more things. You know, you did pass PgMP exam 30th October 2024. Not long ago. How was your experience there?
Yeah, so the experience with the journey was that I was trying to look for a program that would help me pass the exam, and I came across vCare's program with Dharam, and he helped me and coached and mentored me through the process, because at the time the PgMP was undergoing a change in what the material was I needed to learn. So I was going through, you know, version 3 and 4 at the same time, as you recall, right, Dharam? So it wasn't an easy journey, but we managed to get through it, and have to give a lot of credit to Dharam, because he was made sure that I was staying on track, on schedule with my learning, and we met weekly to have conversation of any risks or gaps with learning. And so we were able to mitigate that during our conversation. And also I was able to ask any questions that were unclear to me during the quizzes or during the reading material, which was very helpful during that process.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for opting me as your mentor. It was great working with you. Thank you. All right. I'm very proud to have, including Maria, 544 PgMPs and 168 PfMPs globally, which is around 8 to 10% of global number, which is, I'm happy with that. Anyway, so do I not need more? Yes, more and more coming. Recently, you saw the post for PfMP. PgMP post is coming with, I think, 12 people on the post. You know, month or two, I get 10, 12 people, which is, you know, not too bad. So thank you for your trust. Thank you. Okay. All right. So other than that, we do have a PD code to give you. I will give you the PD code. You will be that will be around somewhere around the end of the program, and I will also give. Okay. If you are just watching the recording, so please reach out to me for the PD code. So I'll be happy to give the PD code. And I did share a lot of information on the chat. Please go through the chat and look at some of the relevant links if you're interested in doing PgMP PfMP, and my app, which was released last year, and exam simulator was released for PgMP PfMP, RMP, ACP, and PMP. So lots happening, and I have shared a discount coupon as well, just in case you want to use it. It will be applicable to you, Maria, and you know that can save you some money, a little bit money. So use it for your PfMP if you want. All right. Okay. So let's get started. And guys, you have option to ask questions as and when you feel like. Please ask the questions. Happy to bring that to Maria's attention at the right time. And yeah, so I have lots of questions to ask. I do have questions during registration. So I think we'll have time to talk about that. Anything else, Maria, before we get started?
No, let's get started. Thank you.
Let's get started. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And yeah, my first question goes around the cybersecurity. Can you share a real world example where leadership was crucial in addressing cybersecurity challenges?
So that's a great question, because everywhere I went for consulting work, there were challenges, many different types of those challenges. And mostly the government sector, they don't have money, and they're always having to request it from the government or try to get it in their capital budget. So it becomes challenging for them to do a lot of the things that they're supposed to be doing that they can't do, right? So
Yeah.
I've been working out there with, these government agencies. The challenge is always the basic stuff, right? It's not even the cybersecurity, it's just the basic thing that you would learn, and it's important. And when you do project, program, and portfolio management, and the basic thing is the oversight, the governance, and a lot of people don't follow it, and they don't keep their stuff up to date. And it's important because that's a lot of the information coming from, right? Those standard policies and procedures and the tools and techniques that you're using that need to be followed and has to have oversight from that executive level. So I've seen a lot of challenges there, Dharam, for, a lot of these agencies.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so what are the major leadership challenges in balancing innovation and compliance within regulated industries?
So a lot of the challenges for the industry right now is AI, right? New technology.
Oh, yeah.
How do we use ChatGPT? I've gone to a lot of conferences and workshops, and I'm finding out that a lot of the vendors are starting to integrate AI into appliances, which becomes very challenging for a technology person, even for us project and program managers, right? Why? Because now we have to figure out where are the risks of doing that, and how are we going to govern that type of technology, right, without getting hacked or something really bad happening, right? Especially if you're working in banking and the financial industry, right? Because now you're dealing with money there, right? Or if you're working with public safety, right, it becomes very crucial, right? What can happen to my IoT devices? What can happen to anything that's controlled by the internet or using any type of electronic device, right, that people can control? And then going to ChatGPT and trying to ask ChatGPT, how can I hack certain devices, right, using AI, or how is AI being used to hack devices, right? And we don't know. AI could give you that information depending on how good you ask the question, and you'll be able to accomplish, do mission accomplished. So it's kind of scary right now because we don't have anything that's regulating that right now, really. We have some basic stuff in government, but it looks like everybody's trying to do their own thing. They're trying to figure out how are we going to be using it in the business, in the industry. So those are the types of challenges I've been through. And the other challenge is privacy, right? So I see a lot of issues with the privacy, right? Not for us, not only for us in business, but for children, right? Their privacy and just your regular living at home, right? It could be using AI without you knowing. So if I have Amazon, right, I'm using Alexa or something like that, right, at home. How do I know something nefarious is not going on with those devices that could harm me, right? And I don't know. They could be listening to what I'm doing. It's dangerous.
I know it's becoming more and more dangerous, more dependent on technology, especially now every device in home can be, automated via IoT. And suddenly comes the AI-based technology. Now somebody can take a control of your house. What's happening? Security and everything else.
Right.
Now we're talking more, and this is becoming more scary.
Yeah, because I recently bought a refrigerator. It's got AI. It's got internet connection to it.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah, internet.
I didn't even know it until I bought it. It was funny. I was like, oh my God, this refrigerator has, internet. You can connect the internet to it, right? And then it could start talking to you, and you're like, where's that coming from?
It's the horror movie.
Yeah,
Fictional horror movie.
yeah.
All right. Okay. So how does collaboration between technical and non-technical teams contribute to ensuring program resilience?
Ensuring what?
Ensuring program resilience.
Resilience. Oh,
So let
okay.
me repeat. You want me to repeat the question?
Yeah.
How does collaboration between technical and non-technical teams contribute to ensure program resilience?
So it's transparency, right? It's you have to develop a safe environment. It doesn't matter if you're technical or non-technical. You have to build relationships. We talk a lot about, I was happy to see that as a category, right? A big category that was in the PgMP, collaboration, right? And what is collaboration?
Yeah.
And how we using it in the business environment. So it's very important because it means a lot of things. And a lot of us project and program managers come at different levels, right, of that collaboration. It's like emotional intelligence. You have to have some very good soft skills, right? You have to be able to be a good facilitator, building relationships, building a good team, relationship, and making sure there's transparency and collaboration. So it's a lot of stuff. You're not going to get that all from work. So you need to work on yourselves and try to improve yourself, because you improving yourself as a person will help you with your project and program management, whether they're hard skills or soft, improve how you do your work. Give me a minute. I think I was unplugged. My outlet was unplugged all the way in, and I saw a battery going low. Sorry. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Everything okay? Battery's okay now?
All plugged in.
Perfect. So anything else on the topic?
No, so I am just trying to tell the audience here that a lot of the things we learn in project, program, and portfolio management, you'll see that align with other certification, whether it's indirectly or directly, you know what I mean? But you'll see that the relationship there, right? It aligns with a lot of the stuff we're doing. So it's like really important to learn, this type of information, certification. It's good to have, and I see that more and more companies are starting to request, at least the PMP, that you have it alongside with any other technology skills that you have.
Yeah, I mean, the PMP has been in the, now long time, but now I'm seeing more and more requirements for PgMP and PfMP, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen some more like roles around, like as a technical role, but they're asking for PgMP for program manager and the portfolio managers for PfMP, especially in US. And other countries are still catching up, but United States, more and more jobs coming with the requirement. Cybersecurity plus this and this.
You know why they're doing that, right? They're doing that because we have so much automation going on, right? Cloud computing, the AI, there's so much automation going on that they need the person to have more than just a PMP. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, that's right, because like if you are working in cyber, not cyber, cloud technology, and you're going to implement new cloud system, cloud platform, then obviously having knowledge of cloud or data center, plus having good program manager exposure, and then having on top of that having certificate, definitely add more and more value.
Well, we're dealing with, at the program level, you're dealing with a lot of different components that need to be integrated together to deliver, right, the value and the benefits out of the program. So it's no longer, I'm doing one project. It's not like that. It's like a whole bunch of components together to deliver a program,
That's right. Great, good to know. I mean, We know that, but it's becoming more and more obvious now. Okay. So my next question, and guys, you have opportunity to ask questions. Maria is coming with specialty in cybersecurity, so please feel free to ask questions. And okay, my next question. In the meantime, I'll keep asking. In the era where cybersecurity threats evolve faster than defenses, so we don't have to proper defensive, we have cybersecurity coming. How do you build trust and confidence among your stakeholders while managing uncertainty in the cybersecurity program?
So to build that trust and comfort with the stakeholders, you have to build a relationship with them, right? It's not, oh, I just need to talk to them when I'm dealing with my project. Absolutely not. You have to build a relationship. You have to collaborate. You have to better understand what those stakeholders and their team members are doing and how you can get involved and help improve, coach, mentor them, so that they can help you in being able to deliver those products and services that are required under our program, right? So it's important. That's important to have that relationship with your stakeholder, and it's a big part of our certification, right? And whether you're taking project, program, or portfolio, stakeholder engagement is very, very, very important. Making sure that you can communicate with them at all times, making sure that they stay abreast of any type of changes or situations going on, and making sure you have a very good PMIS tool that could show some of those key indicators on a dashboard.
Yeah, it's very important. Like as you mentioned that cybersecurity is becoming more and more important nowadays because of number of technological advancements. We think we are advancing, but there at the same time, there's some cybersecurity threats we have. They're increasing because of vulnerabilities we are and opening up a lot of more channels for them.
Yeah, so I had a big discussion with a bunch of people about, the PMIS. It was a big discussion because people didn't know what it means, right? They're using it generically, but I don't know what it is. So I gave some clarity. Yeah. I could give it here, right? It could be SharePoint. It doesn't have to be an elaborate tool. That tool could be a SharePoint. It could be Jira. It could be DevOps. Depending on what the work is. If you're doing product management or program management, it's a lot of different types of tools that you could use. And now with the data analytics and cloud, people are starting to use Tableau. They're using Power BI, right, to deliver a lot of those visualization. And so when you're taking certification, that's what they're talking about. Those different tools. It's not just a project management tool. It's a tool that is used by technology people as well.
Right. Good to know. Good to know this. Very, very important. Right. Okay. My next question: when managing cyber-driven programs, how do you balance implementing robust security measures such as zero trust architecture, advanced threat intelligence, with the need to maintain agility to meet program deliverables, especially under time and budget constraints?
So I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear the question.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So when managing cyber-driven programs, how do you balance implementing robust security measures? For example, zero trust architecture, advanced threat intelligence, with a need to maintain agility to meet program deliverables, especially under tight budget and time constraints.
Right. So again, a lot of that goes back to how well you maintain and update your infrastructure, right? It's about making sure that you have proper standard procedures in place and you're staying up to date what that looks like for you as an organization, right? And the zero trust is you don't trust anything, right? You can't. And you have to figure out what that is for your organization, right? And what those policies and procedures are going to look like for your organization moving forward. So I see a lot of that going on as well. That's a great question.
Okay, so anything else on this?
Well, it's just going back to making sure that there's oversight, right? That you stay on track with what you need to do, right? So you know how everybody has to do patches, right? And sometimes when you do patches, do you really know what's happening to that hardware or that appliance when you do a patch? Do you have proper release management process to even push a good patch? Not everybody does, right? And so this is where problems occur, where you can be doing an update from a vendor and you find out later on, maybe an hour later, that when you did that update, it made the rest of the hardware go back to the default state. And it opens up a whole bunch of ports. And you're like, oh my God, what just happened to my, you know, my appliance here, right? And you have to check and make sure that you sandbox it, you test it, that you make sure that's working properly before things get deployed out, right? That's true in any organization, is if you have the capacity, the capability to have a test lab, that will ensure that you are able to deliver those updates in a more safe and you know, way in your environment. A lot of people don't have the money to fund for that, so they just, you know, rely on the vendor to do it, or, you know, and we know what happens when a vendor does it, right? Because it's been in the news, right? They don't even check, you know, they have a lot of things to check, and it still becomes a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if there's a special application running on the new system and they change it without realizing that you have some application which are not working anymore, or they're not compatible with the new system.
Right.
How do you deal with that? Like, you have some pilot running first, you know, have some few devices.
Usually when updates are done, when you have to do the updates, unless they're really critical, you don't have to do all your updates. When they ask you, when a vendor asks you to do an update, you don't need to do for an update. It's just what's required for your agency, you know?
Yeah. And most of the time, like, I mean, when Windows or Microsoft patch is coming, we just have to accept that.
Right, or even hardware, right? When you have to do updates and they have some new features, it may not apply to you. You don't need to do it, but you do have to document. You have to document that, you know, that it doesn't apply, because when you go through an audit, if they ask you, why haven't you done that? It's documented on why you didn't need to do it.
Yeah. So my next question is around data breaches happening around the world. So with the average cost of data breach in US reaching $4.35 million and many leaders lacking cybersecurity skills, what strategies would you recommend to program managers and or to proactively address cyber risk and prevent passing the cost onto customers?
So when you're dealing with the data breaches, again, it just goes back to, are you doing your due diligence, right? Are you doing proper auditing and oversight on what that looks like for your organization? A lot of people don't. They'll do an audit, they'll do an ISO 27001 and 2 just because they have to do it. But if you're regulated, you have to stay on top of that. You have to do continuous, you know, improvements and making sure that it's in compliance with whatever those regulations are, right? Yeah, so there's other things too, but that's basically it.
Sorry, anything else?
What was the?
Yeah. No, everything. You like, you okay? Wait, anything else on the topic?
No, it's just the same thing what I've been saying. You know what I mean? you could follow, there's other things that you could do out there. If you want me to go into more detail, so you could be proactive. There's an organization, that Martyr Attack, right? They have a platform that they use, and anybody can use. It's free, it's online, where you could actually put information in on how somebody will attack your systems, right? To come out and see from that input that you put into that system to get the output results of what you need to do to protect your organization. So a lot of people use the Martyr Attack to help them figure out how to be more proactive, how do we protect against certain attacks coming from the outside into the organization. So this particular tool helps you to do that. So if you wanted to get more insight on a particular hacking attack that's going on that may affect your organization, you put that information in and you just follow the process, and it'll tell you if you're vulnerable or not, or what is needed for me to protect the system so it doesn't happen, right?
Thank you. Thank you for sharing this specific information. Okay. Okay, how can AI-powered cybersecurity tools assist program managers in proactively addressing threats while ensuring scalability and return on investment?
With the AI tool?
Yeah, any like AI-powered cybersecurity tool.
Right. So the way I've been using AI, because not a lot of organization allows you to use AI. I do a lot of the work, but I sanitize it on my personal computer, and then I just transfer that information back to the organization. So when I was working at the CDC, that's what I had to do, because I wasn't sure if it was allowed or not. They allowed you to use, some type of AI in their organization, but I didn't trust it. So I sanitized the verbiage that I used with AI on my personal computer so that I could get the information that was needed to help me build the content, the documentation, right? That was needed for my project and program management stuff. Or if I needed something to be, do it real quick, right? Create a business case for this or a use case for this. I was able to input that information so that AI can help me come up with some ideas of what a use case would look like.
Yeah. I mean, so any particular tool you're talking, or just ChatGPT?
I use a lot of ChatGPT. I pay for that. I pay $20 a month for that paid version, because if you don't pay the $20 a month and you just use it out of the box for free, there's limitations. You can only do so much asking of the AI, the ChatGPT, before it just says, that's it, you can't do any more for today. So I bought the pay version, so because I had to keep working, right, and do my work. So I had to invest in it, and for it to help me get what I needed done in a certain amount of time.
Exactly. Yeah. That's becoming like a very, very important tool nowadays for any business nowadays.
Yeah, and you also have to be careful, right? Because AI hallucinates. That's the last thing you want to do, is give your stakeholders some hallucination, content without you reading it ahead of time, right? So you need to read it. If you need to re-ask AI the question, it will go in more detail because it already remembered what you asked before. And so you want to just say a little bit more about what you need so that it can focus on what that answer needs to be for you in a more precise way,
Exactly. It has a specific, if you ask a question, and it will just give you some information which is in standard format, and you ask more and more detailed question, go deeper into that. That's where you start getting more and more intelligence, more better assistance from, like, for example, ChatGPT.
Right. So it's like just asking a general questions is not going to help you, right? You have to be very specific. And you don't want to ask a lot of questions. You just want to make sure you're clear and concise when you give it a sentence or two. You don't want to give it too much questions because it's going to get confused and not give you the right answer.
Yeah, perfect. All right. How can human cognition and decision making evolve to outpace cyber threats and drive resilient program management strategies for 2025 and beyond? How can we be more prepared?
How we can be more prepared? First of all, everybody's going through a transition on whether or not they should use AI, right, in their companies. And I say yes, but with caution. And it doesn't have to be at a large scale. It could be, you could start at a small scale. You could sandbox it if you know how to do that. You know, you can contain it in some way for your organization. Use it, which a lot of organizations are doing that, right? They contain it within their infrastructure so that they can control what you can and can't do. Which I think is a good idea because that's helping people build confidence in that type of product and service that it delivers, right? So it's, I would say to proceed, but with caution, you know, when using AI.
Yeah, a lot of questions. You may see exciting. I mean, of course, you have to do due diligence and get somebody who understands the security, who understand the vulnerability in your organization, some architect or somebody, to see how the compatibility and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing you want, you implemented something new and something has gone down because of that.
Right. You don't want to be in the, you don't want to be in the news. Let's put it.
Yeah, no, especially the large organizations. This is becoming more and more, threat. And I talk to many organizations. They come with Dharam, like this, ransom and many other things also happening. They somehow enter into your system and they have control of your system. Yeah.
So the worst thing that can happen, okay, and I don't share this all the time, but your worst enemy is the people who work for you in the organization, right? So whoever working with you has certain intelligence on information, product and services that you deliver, and that person can take that information outside of the company if you're not conducting proper checks and balances on people, right? And making sure that they can't take information. Right? And I saw a lot of this going on at Raytheon, right? They were very good at making sure people didn't take stuff outside of the organization. Because once they do, right, what can happen? You're in big trouble because they just have a lot of your information. It hasn't been sanitized and they're using it with AI and competitors, and you know, you're in big trouble then, right? Because you're going to end up losing money because of that, right? You're not going to get return on investment because your intelligent, your proprietary information to whatever those products and services that you are trying to sell and deliver to your client has just left the organization, someone's hands who can do a lot of damage, right? So that's another problem that we have that people need to make sure, you know, not everybody in the organization's honest. You know, you're going to run into very nefarious people at work, at the workplace, and you don't know who they are. They could be very nice, you know, different types of personality behavior, and you wouldn't know, right? But it's not a part of whether they're nice or not. It's a part of doing your due diligence and making sure that they don't leave the building, or it doesn't leave the organization's internet connection once they, you know, go home or stop working remotely, right? And that's an issue. That's an issue, you know, with anything, right?
Yeah, they have their password, and I mean, of course, most organizations do the due diligence, they disconnect everything, they block the users and everything, but they may have a way to get into.
They may have a way to, manipulate the situation and putting it somewhere where it can't be seen or people are not looking for it, right? So it's a problem.
All right. So I think as a program managers, at least we can highlight that, or if you are working in some specific roles, if you have a control there, make sure all the due diligence are taken care when somebody is leaving. All right. Yeah. So I have shared the PDU code. If you can check your chat. So I have shared the course identifier and PDU claim code. So this will give you one PDU. So please take a note of this. And the people watching this as a recording, let me know, send me an email, and happy to share it by you. The PDU code works for 1 year. So we are in March 2025. So this will be active until 2026 March. Okay. So if you have watched this video today, before 2026 March, you will be able to claim one PDU code. One PDU code. Okay, so I
forgot to tell them. Also, you can get credits, CPE credits on your certifications that will update your certification for another year. So that's always good too.
Yeah. So all these webinars, guys, people are attending. I can see a couple of people at least, they join all the webinars. So this is the way you can learn from other expert and also, get some PDUs and keep growing. This knowledge is free, and why not learn from experts? So what they have already gone through, you don't want to go through pitfalls. Rather be prepared. Learn from them, and the more you learn, of course, you grow.
Right.
Okay, and Maria, I do have a question which was presented or given to me earlier during the registration. Let me read it out for you. Thank you for the question, and let's read it out. How do cybersecurity leaders strike a balance between implementing stringent security protocols and ensuring seamless user experience, especially in high-risk industries like finance and healthcare?
So how do they ensure the security at industry? So I talked about that already, right? In the finance world, right? So in the finance world, there's a lot of regulatory compliance that you have to comply with. So it's going to be more stringent to make sure that nefarious bad things don't happen, right? But again, it doesn't matter. You can have as many security layers in place and infrastructure. They may not be doing it that way, right? They may be doing it physically, a camera, anything. So it's our job as cybersecurity people to address that at the table, which a lot of people don't do, right? They don't worry about other types of things, smartphones, tablets that people are using, where information can be captured and it can leave the company without anybody knowing, right? So it's important, and I know government does this, right? They don't allow smartphones in the office. You cannot have your personal smartphone. It gets locked up in a locker, and when you go home, they hand it back to you, right? You're not allowed to have your personal laptop in the office, right? For these types of reasons, because they're worried about information that's being captured and leaving the organization without their knowledge.
Yep,
so
I'm going to take a picture of that.
If you're not doing that already, you need to bring up the question, and say, hey, when people are using phones, maybe we need to give people business phones so that they don't bring their personal phones into the organization, right? Laptop, right? I know companies like to save money on laptop, but we don't know what people have on their laptop that could have a script that goes into your network, and all of a sudden you have a problem, right? So you want to be able to use a business laptop, a business smartphone, a business tablet, whatever it is, so that you have the control of locking it down and making sure that that information doesn't leave the organization.
Yeah, it's very good advice. Very good. It's a very important point. You said companies are asking people to use their own laptop and phone and to use it on login to the network. Guess what? There is some all this information stays on their laptop, and
You need
they may not, you guys know what's happening.
It's a bad idea both ways, right? Both ways. So if I'm a person that not doing anything bad, how do I know what the organization's capturing on my personal computer, right? That I don't want them to know, and they're using it for other reasons that it's not known to me, right? And so you don't want it can work against you as an employee too, right? So I always tell them, no, I'm not using my personal phone for business.
Yeah, I mean, they may have a policy. They may say, no, we want you to use, because they want to save money on them, because every phone,
Want to save money,
every
right?
laptop costs money. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, so whatever best they can do, they will do. Anyway, so
And another thing too, right? What government uses, what they're doing is they buy certain laptops that come with a personal identification slot for it's called a PIV card, right? So you can't even use the computer to log into a network unless that ID goes into that slot, so it can check to make sure that you're the person for that particular card. To use so there's different layers of access. So maybe the bank, financial people should be using that same type of technology, right? Is what I'm saying, where it has multiple layers of authenticating you before you get on the network.
wow, great. Good to know lots of information.
Yeah.
The problem is, more you know, more worry you get into. So, you want to know more? Yes, keep listening to our webinar. But yeah, thank you, Maria. It was a pleasure talking with you and having insight of the cybersecurity and possibility and how we can save ourselves from big, even though we are listening and watching everything, but we can still be vulnerable. But whatever we can do to protect ourselves in this technology-driven environment, in the artificial intelligence-driven environment we are working in. So let's do our part. Let's be more vigilant, due diligence, put everything, give them, I mean, you mentioned a lot of things which can help an organization to be at least a little more safer than they were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we cannot eliminate 100%, but at least you can save yourself and your company.
Right. What's really good that I use is the multi-factor, right? And there's different types of multi-factor authentication. You have the authentication apps that people are using, which is great, right? So you can't get into any of these applications now on the internet unless you have your phone, right, to authenticate yourself. So that's another good thing. I recently had an incident where I got locked out of my Yahoo account, and I do everything through my Yahoo account. And I was very frustrated because Yahoo has an authentication process of when you first initiate the multi-factor, they give you another separate ID that never changes, and they expect you to store that ID information somewhere. So if you get locked out, you need to authenticate yourself by presenting that ID information to Yahoo. Well, I didn't have it. I lost it. And so it was a nightmare for me because I couldn't get my emails. It was crazy, and I kept getting on the phone with them, telling them, listen, I can't get into my emails. I do everything through Yahoo. I thought it would be more secure, and they were so strict. They were like, we're not giving you anything. We have to make sure you are who you are. And I'm like, I am. I gave you my license ID. They still didn't help me. And so what did I do as a consumer does, right? Kept calling until I got the right guy to help me, which was bad, right? Because I was going on for months. I had to wait till I got the right person to say, hey, can you help me? And I finally did. And the person says, you need to disable the multi-factor because we're having a problem for this reason, because we're very strict about it. And so that's another issue, right? As me as a consumer, I don't, that's a problem for me, right? If I get locked out, am I gonna never be able to get into have access to my information, right? And so I just decided not to use it for Yahoo because I just can't afford to be locked out like that for that long period of time. And still giving them my information and they still not being able to validate it. So I'm just giving you, you know, some of the crazy things that are going on out there.
Yeah, yep. Knowingly, unknowingly, companies have more and more, you know, they assist as a multi-factor working or not working.
Yeah.
You think you're making more secure and something else can happen. I do see these kind of problems all the time. Yeah. So as a person, you try to know more about the system as much as you can. Look for better tools in the organization and do all the due diligence and be safe. That's what the map.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are into project program management, system management, yeah, if you are interested to do, and I'm not in the, I will not say it's interested or it's becoming more and more important to have a right certificate with you, not just for having a certificate, but the knowledge you gain from these certificates can be useful. I do get people with their expertise in some of the areas. They still want to do PgMP or PfMP because one is to learn the best practices PMI has. Second is that the job is required. Anyway, so Mari, you did good thing. You did PgMP and now you're working for PfMP. I will see you soon on your PfMP journey. And
I just want to say one other thing, right? I want to say something good about vCare. So if you ask anybody in the industry, they're going to tell you vCare is the top place to go if you want to take courses and get certified. So it's well known out in the industry who those top players are. So vCare happens to be one of those top players. So if you're going to move on and you want to get certified, I would suggest you contact Dharam and he'll take care of you.
Thank you, Maria, for your trust, and looking forward to keep helping you and anybody here. So the easiest way is to book my time. I know I get busy, very busy, but if you can find my slot, happy to have time with you, discuss your particular needs. Sometimes we have questions around, hey, I'm a project manager. I'm working with $3 billion work. Can I sit for a PgMP exam? Of course you can. Just because the title you have project manager doesn't mean you cannot. But we have to be not just the title, but what role you play in that the big $3 billion program.
I got to say something about that real quick. An example, right? I have a friend of mine who lives out in Seattle, Washington, right? She got a job with Microsoft, right? And she said she's been doing project management for a long time. But guess what? I find out, right? She's telling me her boss is giving her a hard time. She's responsible for a lot of high-level programs at Microsoft. And after speaking with her, coaching and mentoring her to help her out, I found out she doesn't have her PMP. She has nothing. She has the lower level. She has the CAP, right? The CAP-M. And she doesn't really know how to structure, these programs the way you're supposed to structure them when you're learning, the program management course, right? Stuff. And so I would highly tell you not to do something like that. That's very stressful. She's not even getting paid a lot of money, but that's besides the point. Companies see you that you want to do project or program management and you don't have the right skill set or you didn't take the right training and certification courses, they're never going to call you again. They won't even interview you again,
I mean, it's a very true. And I know some of the recruitment agents, I was working for the companies, they told me that, Dharam, we get so many applications for any simple job, a project programmer job. We cannot see all the resumes. So the first thing we see do they have the required certificate? Even though the companies are not asking, like PMP or PgMP, but they still put it as a desirable, and they unknowingly, they will eliminate number of good applications without seeing you, and because the system has not popped up as you one of the potential candidates because you even don't have PMP or a particular certificate. So I think that's a must-have now. It's not any more hygiene factor. It's a must-have. PMP is must-have, and for program managers and portfolio managers working in that space, you should feel that this is a must-have and work towards that. These certificates are, I know it's difficult, but if you have a right structure, right, support structure you have, then you can achieve them. I've seen 544 PgMPs and 168 PfMPs going through this program.
Let me ask you
It's
something.
achievable.
What's going on with us who have experience, right? We think we know it. We know it because we have certification, and we're learning every day. It's changing so fast that we have to learn other things, new things, the way the certifications are changing, the content is changing, what we need to know to help, the executive level people with the projects and the programs, because things are just evolving and changing so fast. It's crazy, right? Agile,
exactly. And
right? PMI hasn't introduced Agile until recently during COVID, right? Because that's when they were changing stuff, right? To start using Scrum, Agile, and it's been out there in the industry for a long time, and they're just starting to change it.
yeah, they're realizing, but the good thing is that they are focused on AI-based project management, program management, portfolio management. I think that's one of the, if you have not started seeing, there are a lot of things are happening in the AI space from PMI.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Dharam and Maria, for your time and valuable insight. And I'd like to thank you, Dr. Maria. It was a pleasure talking with you, and I am looking forward to see you. And guys, I gave two YouTube channels links. Please watch those videos. Number of people have done their hard work, and just like Dr. Maria, we have many people have done their job. So watch those videos. Recordings are there, not just for the PDU. I'm sure a lot of people want to have PDU, but learning from them, that's more important. So look at the chat and download them, all the links, and watch them. All right, and thank you, Maria, and thank you all of you for joining this program. And yeah, appreciate your efforts. I know these things take a lot of effort and energy, but thank you for coming and helping us on this.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Bye. Take care.